Welcome back to our second edition of our podcast, which is called
The Stuff You Need
with James Days and
Lacey Verduz.
Today we're going to be talking a little bit about Chromebooks, blended learning, safety, so like the fire drill and the intruder alert. So we've got some special guests. We got Miss Nicole Newsom and our homeboy
James Marquise here.
And so they'll both be joining us here today. We have a new segment that we're going to be introducing today. You'll see it, we'll love it, then we'll move on with our lives. And then we'll make another one.
Another one, and another one.
And another one. See where it goes from there.
So the purpose is to keep y'all informed.
Keep you informed. So the one thing I do want to talk about is Chromebooks, first of all. If it's a Galena Park Chromebook, on the back you should have a tag number. And also they should have written out the number right here. That lets us know that this is the Galena Park Chromebook. Now the reason why we need to make sure it's a Galena Park Chromebook is because when testing comes up, our Chromebooks are the only ones that are going to work. The personal computers are not going to work. Personal laptops won't work. Personal Chromebooks won't work. If the Wi-Fi won't hold up, and it's also not set to the proper settings for the testing to happen. So we have to make sure that we're using, just for testing for sure, just our Galena Park ISD Chromebooks. Now, one of the biggest things that our students are doing is they're leaving them at home. And we have to make sure, we have to encourage them every day to make sure that they're bringing them in. A couple things might be standing in their way. They may have okay?
All
right.
They're not charging them. They're not charging the Chromebooks. But
you know what they do? You know what they do charge?
What?
Their cell phones.
I didn't charge mine, so they're doing better than me.
They are.
But didn't we just get a nice little
Yes, most teachers, if there's probably about maybe 5 or 6 teachers that have not gotten theirs yet, but there's little towers that have been pushed out to your classes. They have, I think on all 4 sides there are 4 plugs, so a total of like 16 plugs, but then also has a USB charger too on each one of those levels too. So there's a lot of good charging that can take place. You can throw that in the middle of your room, have kids plug into it, move it to wherever you need because it's on wheels.
It is. It's mobile. So hopefully you guys are utilizing that in your classrooms as well.
The kids will say that their Chromebook's broken, that their parents won't pay for it. That could be true, but it also could be that they haven't told their parents that it's broken, and so the parents have no idea. So we have to make sure that we're on top of that too, and making sure that we get that going.
So what would you suggest? So I'm a SEL teacher or a classroom teacher, and I find a student that has an issue with their Chromebook, and I document it in the loaner database. What do I do from there? How do we push out the message or communicate to parents?
So you can make parent contact. One of the other things that I would definitely recommend you doing is also during your SEL time is calling down to the AP's office to Miss Gonzalez. She's over our Chromebook. She's doing a fabulous job of switching them out, working on them, and then getting them right back out to the students. She's calling pretty much every day to get more Chromebooks over here, so we have enough to where we can swap them out if necessary. Because not all of the problems that are dealing with the Chromebook are the student's fault.
Right.
So it could be a software thing. They bring it down, they see that there's an error message or whatever. That's just a swap out. But they're thinking to themselves, "I'll have to pay for this." If it's a software issue, then they'll take care of it.
This is kind of like the insurance.
Yeah. So the one thing that I wouldn't suggest them to do, and if you see students, these are things that as a teacher, I hope that we're all looking at. If a kid is just carrying their Chromebook, tossing it around, hopefully we're stopping that from happening. If it's raining outside, they shouldn't be using this as a shield. During breakfast, I know they deliver breakfast first period. Make sure that the Chromebooks are not. Take 5 minutes, have them eat breakfast, and not have the Chromebooks out. Okay, so then that way they're safe for that given time. Because I've seen plenty of times where milk has been spilled all over the Chromebook. All that stuff has been spilled on the Chromebook. But if you have questions, contact myself. Contact her too, or Miss Gonzalez. We can all help you out in these situations. We've all dealt with the learner database. We've all dealt with computer issues, so we can definitely help you with that. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Our first guest is Ms. Nicole Newsom. She's going to come and she's going to talk to y'all about some blended learning. All right, welcome back to the Stuff You Need. Again, James Days here.
I'm Leslie Verdette.
We are your hosts. We've got our first guest of the season here. It's our good friend,
Nicole Newsom.
Cole Newsom. She's going to talk to us a little bit about some Chromebook stuff. We're also going to talk a little bit about what we need to see with the Chromebooks. The biggest thing with the Chromebooks is we have to make sure that our kids, they have their Chromebooks and making sure that they're up to date and there and good to go. Okay? But on the flip side, we can't just be expecting, if a kid doesn't have a Chromebook, we can't just give them a 0, right?
No, that is definitely not the way we're going to do things. Not at the Hill. The students that don't have their Chromebooks, we're going to meet them where they're at. We're not in control of what their parents' budgets are. We're not in control of, the resources that are coming into us in the form of Chromebooks. Like, we have to meet our kids where they're at. So I would say, make sure you have a paper copy of the activity that you're giving to the students on the Chromebook for the students who don't have a Chromebook, just until things work out for them. I definitely say, no, we're not giving zeros for that. We cannot use technology as a failure for our students.
If you have extra computers or extra Chromebooks or even desktop computers, then that would be an alternative to printing out your worksheet for the students that are not with technology.
It's a great idea.
Do not have.
I would definitely encourage that. If you don't have a desktop in your room, put in a work order for Eduphoria to see if they have some available to come put some in your room. That request can always be met. It's either going to be a yes or a no. So, but you guys brought me on to talk about how to use the Chromebooks, right?
Yeah. So I guess basically the biggest thing that I want to hear from someone like you is when you're going through the classrooms, like when you're observing teachers and stuff like that, are you looking for every kid to have a Chromebook and every kid and every lesson to be geared around Chromebooks? What are we looking for as administrators?
Right. What is going digital really mean?
Yeah.
Going digital doesn't mean everything's on the Chromebook or everything is digitalized. You have to have a balance, and it's called blended learning. There's a balance between technology and actual manual labor. Okay? Technology is, yes, it's a great tool, it's useful, everybody's going in that direction. But everybody is not there. So we have to balance off the classroom through blended learning. Students should be writing. They should be writing, they should be talking, they should be collaborating with each other, they should be writing things down. Then you take that information and put it back into the computer. Can you have an formative assessment where it's just strictly online? Of course, because it gives you quick data. And sometimes we need that. But you can also do exit tickets that does not consist of technology, or entrance tickets that don't consist of technology, and you're still doing a form of informal assessments. So there has to be a balance when you're looking at blended learning. It can't be all just be technology. The kids have to be writing. They need to be speaking. Did you know that in Texas, one of our biggest issues on TELPAS is speaking?
I did not know.
I did know that.
Yeah, that's one of our biggest failures. So how can we help this issue? Have the kids talking more. Caking strategies are great examples of students having opportunities to collaborate about actual content in the classroom. So we have to pull back that range of the teacher talking all the time. These babies are no longer the lecture kids. They have to be doing something. They have to be talking. And they have to be writing. So,
Student-led learning suggestion.
most definitely.
So
Kids learn from each other.
I guess my biggest question and things that I hear from teachers are they're worried, like when an administrator or someone is coming to observe them when they walk through the door, if all the kids aren't on a Chromebook, that's an issue.
That's definitely not an issue. As long as all the kids are actively engaged in content-based learning.
Okay.
That's what's the most important piece. And also, teachers are in the power zone, so little Johnny could be having a conversation with Miss Smith or vice versa. But still, I know Miss Verdun, but I was just giving you another
I'm
scenario.
Miss Smith right now.
Well, okay, Miss
She's
Verdun.
sitting right there. She's a teacher.
But I was just giving her an example
Oh, okay. But you can
of
use
a
her as-
teacher.
Okay. So you said little Johnny and Miss Smith. We're back to them.
So basically, Miss
I'm not hearing
Miss Smith is in an actual content conversation in the power zone with that student and another student. Like they're in tune with what's happening in the classroom and not sitting behind a desk. That's not learning. The kids have to see you actively
So
engaged.
don't sit behind your desk.
No, you should be always up actively monitoring and walking around the room and
Sit
making
in
sure
front of
your
it.
students are doing what they're supposed to do.
Well, it sounds like we got a great person in here, a great leader to talk about these things. So I'm really glad we got that stuff out of the way.
Yes,
But
thank
you're
you,
going
sir.
to join us in our first ever Can We Make You Laugh segment. Okay?
Okay.
So we're going to read off a couple of, tell me a couple.
Okay, so Laffy Taffy jokes are my favorite,
Yeah.
actually. I'm gonna throw
Oh,
them because.
okay. She gave me more than a couple here.
All right.
All right. So you go. So your goal is not to laugh.
Okay.
Okay. Goal is not to laugh.
This is possibly one of the hardest things that could ever happen to
I know
me
that's
right
why I really wanted to do this. Okay. Here we go.
now. Okay.
What can make honey and words?
I don't know.
The spelling bee.
Shut the front door.
Okay. Okay. What button can't unbutton?
A button?
Your belly button.
Okay.
Not
I
doing
get
it.
I
I'm
get
just
it. I
not gonna
get
do
it.
it. Not gonna do it.
What three letters hold a lot of data?
3 letters that hold a lot of data. I have no.
USB.
Oh wow! Oh wow! That was a great technology.
Okay,
That was a
yes.
great technology
Yes,
joke.
Why did the farmer yell at the grape?
Why did the farmer yell at the grape? Why?
Because it was being unpriceable.
All right, we got her. We want to thank you, Ms.
So
Newsom, for
stupid.
joining us here today. She gone, guys. She gone.
I
Absolutely.
found a
gone.
good one. Clearly.
Oh my gosh! That is so stupid.
All right. Looks like we've done our job here today.
I do want to.
So stay tuned. Our next guest is upcoming. It's someone you love to see and hear from. It's our good friend James Marquise Hare.
Whoop, whoop.
All right. Welcome back. We're here again. We've got our second guest of the podcast today. It's our main man, James Marquise Hare. He's going to talk with us a little bit about safety. This is one of those things, we like to have fun on the podcast here, but this is one of those topics that we are going to take serious. So we are going to cut out the comedy for just a few minutes, and then we'll get back to being, who we really are. Okay, Mr. Harris, so safety. I know we've got fire drills as one of our biggest things, and also our intruder drills. Those are important things that we have coming up. The fire drill, just talk to us a little bit about what the fire drill, what should we be doing, what should we know?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Days, for having me on. I really appreciate that. And you're right, we want to take the safety issues very seriously, always, because lives depend on it. But first, let's just go through a fire drill, what that should look like for a teacher. One of the first things that you need to make sure you have for fire drill is your blue go kit, as Ms. Verdun is showing us right now. Inside that go kit, there are a few things. The most important things are your red, your green, and there should be a yellow card.
The yellow does mean slow down.
Yes. Those should be in your go kit. Also, there should be a flashlight. If not, then you want to see me, I can get you one. And also, you would want to have your class rosters in your go kit.
Oh,
And you'd want to replace those every 9 weeks.
somebody's doing a good job.
So this actually is Miss Creek's go kit, and she is spot on with the things that she needs.
Before you put all that away, I want to pop quiz you. I'll pop quiz you. What does green mean?
Green means we're all good. I have all my students.
Okay.
Check
What?
us off the list.
All right. What
We're
is?
not in trouble.
Oh, okay. What does yellow mean?
I have students that maybe are misplaced or displaced. Maybe like I might have a student at the nurse's office, or maybe no, maybe in the AP's office. They're in trouble. Okay.
You found them on the street. On your way out?
Oh, so like I picked up some kids.
Yes. You got some extra
kids.
I'm not doing it. They're gonna.
They're gonna survive.
Yellow means you have someone in your class that's not really supposed to be in there.
Okay. Okay. Found them.
So I want to make. That's why I'm pop quizzing, because I want to make sure everyone has a full understanding of what the cards mean. So if
Okay.
you have a red card, what does that mean?
That means I'm missing some kids.
You're missing a kid.
I got a problem. Please don't take my license.
Okay. There you go. There you go.
That's it. Very good, Ms. Verdun.
Thank you. I did try my best.
In a fire drill, those are, by the way, fire drills are never going to be announced. You're not going to know when they're going to happen, but I will tell you that we have a fire drill once a month. That is by state law. And when you evacuate, there's some things you want to do. First thing is grab your go kit. Second thing is get your students lined up. Third thing is close your door, turn out your lights behind you. Then you're going to evacuate. Thank you, Ms. Verdun. This should be posted somewhere in your classroom. Usually it is over your light switches, but it's an evacuation diagram map. So if you don't have one of these, once again, see me, I will get you one. This is another prop that thank you, Ms. Verdun. And this should be also posted in your classroom somewhere. This basically breaks down all the drills that we run and gives you a kind of what the drill looks like in a nutshell. Really, the two that you need to focus on as a teacher are the intruder drill, which is called the lockdown drill. It's the red one. And then you need to focus on the evacuation drill, because that's the same as a fire drill. That's the green colored icon on your classroom poster. Once we have exited the building in a fire drill, we're going to want to go to our evacuation zone, where an administrator, our counselor, will be there in charge, at which time you're going to take account of your students, see who you have, who you don't have, and then hold up the appropriate card. Once the building, we get an all clear from all evacuation zones, then we'll give an all clear, and we'll come back into the building in an orderly fashion at that time. So that's your fire drill in a nutshell, Mr. Day.
Good, good. That's good, very good information. One last thing I do want to talk about, because it is something that's very, it's something that we need to practice and something we need to learn. Fire drill is one of those things we have to practice to make perfect. We can't have kids all running around in the building, all over the place. Once you get them out in your area, one of the biggest things I see when I'm doing my zone is my teachers have them lined up and together, so they're not all spread out amongst the room the outside trying to figure out who's their kids, who's not their kids. They're in line and they're good to go. You sent us an email, I think last week, about a friendly intruder. Tell us about that, and tell us what we need to do, and what are some key things we have to make sure we're aware of.
Unfortunately, after the Uvalde shooting, the state of Texas came and said we're going to start auditing perimeter doors of basically every campus in Texas. So that friendly face intruder is someone from the state, basically, who will try to access our building from the perimeter doors. That's really all they're checking. They're going to try to gain access to the building through one of the perimeter doors. We maintain those doors, me and Deputy Batson. We have this is also something new. We have a perimeter door audit every week. He checks each door physically to make sure that it's working properly, that they're not propped open, and that they are latching properly. So there's not a whole lot for a teacher to do about the perimeter doors, other than the main thing is for some, there would be something not to do as a teacher dealing with a perimeter door. Can either one of y'all maybe think of what you should not do with the perimeter door?
You got
Maybe like sit out there. Open it for anybody. Let's not do that.
Very good, that's one. Actually, there's two things. I was wrong, Ms. Verdun is right. Don't open it for anybody you don't know. You direct them to the front office. That's our check-in point.
students. We have to, as teachers, as administrators, as whoever we are as adults on the campus, we have to make sure that our students know not to open the doors for anybody as well. Because as soon as they open that door, then who knows what could be coming in after it. So we have to, if they're heading towards the door to let somebody in, we have to stop it. Even if it's another student trying to get in, they have to follow the same procedures we do, making sure that they either go around, they're going for an adult, and they don't know who that adult is, but they're knocking on the door and they've got a friendly face and they're smiling at them and waving, that doesn't mean that they should open the door.
And the second thing you never ever want to do is prop an exterior door open for any amount of time. And I'll tell you why. I know it's for convenience sake. I get it. We're trying to move stuff in or out, or we're trying to get kids in and out. And so it becomes very convenient, obviously, to be able to prop that open. The problem is, a lot of times, we forget we propped it open, and it stays propped open. And that was one of that has been an issue in the past in some of our school incidences, where doors were not properly closed, or were propped open by staff or students even. That's the one thing I also need teachers to understand, that we just cannot do that. I know in the past that was something that was done, every once in a while, but we have to be very vigilant not to prop doors open.
And that's, it brings us to, those are the exterior doors that we're looking at, but we also have to turn it inward too, making sure that we're not propping our doors open, we're not keeping the doors unlocked. One of the things that if an intruder happens to come in, they're looking for the first open door. If the door's locked, they're gonna probably keep on moving. So just making sure that your doors are locked and they're closed and they're secure.
You bring up a great point about the classroom doors. That's huge. We really have to make sure that we're keeping our doors closed and locked. Once again, I know that this can be an inconvenience, but, and I'm stealing somebody else's line here, but and it's very true. Safety is not convenient sometimes. And so we have to get out of our comfort zone and our convenience zone and really start thinking about what is safe. The statistics bear out the fact that in all these school shootings, no school shooter has ever breached a locked classroom door. None. The only time that there was an issue was an open classroom.
So I think, is there anything else you want to talk about with safety before we jump into our last segment?
One thing I would remind is we do have a intruder drill.
Okay.
It's to stop what you're doing, make sure that window covering's down, lights are off, and it's quiet in the classroom. You will be released in an intruder drill by an administrator or law enforcement or a counselor. We will actually physically open the door and tell you all clear. That's how we clear an intruder drill. Once again, that's a safety procedure. We're not going to come back on the intercom and make an all clear statement, because you may not know whether that is a legit statement or not. Unfortunately, the bad guy or girl could have a gun to one of our heads and telling us to get on the intercom and to say it's all clear, and it's not. So we clear on those drills, we clear room by room. We check room by room, and then we reverse that and release room by room.
All right. Mr. Harry, we appreciate you coming up here today.
Thank you for
thank you.
enlightening us.
But we have one last thing that we're gonna do with you. It's try to make you laugh. Okay? So we're gonna tell a joke, and then we're gonna see if we can make you laugh.
Okay.
We may go as many as it takes to make you laugh, or like Miss Newsom after the last one, she died laughing.
Okay. All right. Let me see. You know, I really feel like I'm gonna date myself. They probably don't know, but I really feel like I'm on the Johnny Carson show.
Okay. All right.
Now I know Johnny has been gone for years, but that's my late night, you know, go-to guy. And it was like you had made it. You made the big time when you gotten on Johnny's show.
You've now made
Yeah.
the big time.
So I feel like I've made the big time.
You have.
I'm sitting on the couch.
Sit on the couch.
I've got the host and co-host, and I'm just.
I can't do anything without her. It's weird.
I
She's gonna
can,
be, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. She's gonna take over for me at some point. 'Cause
wow.
I'm gonna be out for a little while.
I did take this here, sorry. You want this back?
Yeah, I might need that back.
All right.
No.
What? Okay. What did they call the girl born at the beach?
The girl born at the beach. Sandy?
Sandy.
Okay, hold on. I got you one. Why didn't the cow read the book?
Why didn't the cow read the book?
You're not supposed to know.
Because it was past his. I don't know. I'm gonna pass on that one. I'm not sure.
He was waiting for the movie.
Nice, nice.
Okay, no laugh?
Almost a chuckle there.
Here we go.
Okay.
Why did the farmer yell at the grape?
That's
To-
the one. Okay, Miss Newsom.
To make it stop whining.
Because it was being unreasonable. No. So why did the traffic light turn red?
I don't know.
It was embarrassed to change in the street. There we go.
Okay.
Finally.
We got it, people.
10 hours later.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's all
Give me a
good.
little
It's all
time.
good.
That's all we need is one.
Well, we really appreciate you coming.
My pleasure.
I know
Anytime.
we have a lot of other safety stuff that we will be going over, so we'll probably see you again, ask you some more questions, get some more information on
Right.
some safety stuff. But what we are going to do is on the clickable sheet that we usually do for our podcast here, we'll have the video that you had sent out, and we'll probably put some of this stuff on there too, just in case they need to see it in another place.
Yeah, once again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. This is an awesome thing y'all are doing. I'm much impressed, and I think it's well worth our time and effort. Once again, let me just reiterate, if you have something that you're missing, a Go Kit or one of these diagrams or drill posters, please see me. I will get it for you, and we'll get you hooked up with those things. Also, if you have an issue with any locks or doors, please let me know once again. And let me just say that it's been awesome to be on the show, and I look forward to maybe being as famous as y'all one day.
Oh, Mr. Hair, come back.
Oh, you special. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Wildcat.
Good afternoon. Okay.
Oh, sorry. It's not the afternoon.
Wrong
now.
thing. Wrong thing.
It's hot and I'm delirious.
True story. You know, we never introduced ourselves in the first podcast. We just kind of went,
And just kept moving.
like, we didn't even say, like,
Alright,
days and I'm good with not doing it.
it's fine.
Stuff you need?
Yeah, everybody here knows who
We need air conditioning. That's what we
The
need.
stuff you need, yeah, we definitely need AC.
Okay.
But okay,
I think that's
I like this.
this happened on every single one of these cuts.
Yeah, I like this. And so,
Do I have matter in my nose? I'm going on camera.
No.
Okay.
The camera
It's
is
recording?
running, by the way.
it's recording.
Yeah.
I just was
What the
yawning
heck?
like nothing's going.
What?
What's going on?
You better delete that.
Delete what?
Alright.
Huh?
This is not our first segment.
Of the thing, yes, this is our first segment.
Of the thing?
Yeah. We're going to introduce ourselves Because he's not gonna be here. Our first guest is gonna be, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
We'll say-
our first guest.
Right.
Okay, so that's when our
The
first
segment.
segment. This is the second segment.
Okay,
Can you stop?
we'll edit it.
Okay. Because what I want to do is get a go kit.
Okay,
I brought some props, see?
okay, you did. Okay.
And so,
This is important.
it is important. You know, I'm just, for the interruption, I wanted
Okay.
people to know that, you know, I took a lot of flack for programming Star Wars into the cleanup bell, the 5-minute bell. But, you know, Mr. Days, I know you're a huge
I'm
Star
perfectly
Wars
fine with
fan,
that,
and so I didn't
Love it.
remove that,
That's-
just
thank
in
you.
your honor.
Appreciate that.
You know, not a problem, anytime.
Appreciate that.